This is ITV, where Edmonton's news comes first.
It's Wednesday, July 5th. Tonight's top story, more rain than we've seen in a century. Edmonton adds up the damage and watches as the river rises. Then a CF-18 drops from the sky at Cold Lake. Plus, they promise that even you can make a perfect dish of pasta. These noodles are heading for the world stage. And they sure can tease, but do they deliver? We'll take you on a tour behind the scenes of the movie trailer.
Now, ITV News at 10.
Good evening. After what happened last night, many people had their eyes on the sky tonight. Thankfully, the severe weather pattern didn't repeat itself. Yesterday's hail and flooding was more than enough to keep homeowners and cleanup crews busy today. ITV brought you the first live pictures of the storm and offered you Edmonton's most comprehensive storm coverage last night. That coverage continues on several fronts tonight. In a moment, reporter Linda Steele will recap the events of last night and find out why weather forecasters didn't warn us about the storm. Bonnie Fox has been following cleanup efforts today, and our troubleshooter has been working with homeowners to find out what compensation is available. But first up tonight, worried eyes on the North Saskatchewan River. A high stream flow advisory was already in effect before last night's storm. And as the water works its way into the North Saskatchewan, river levels are rising. This was the scene in the Rafter's landing area earlier tonight. Because of the high water levels, city officials are warning you to be careful on the River Valley trails. Jerry Bellikka has been talking to the river flow forecasters tonight. He joins us live from the River Valley with the latest. Jerry, is there any danger of flooding?
Jacqueline, at this stage, they are telling us that the river is going to stay within its banks. Now, right now, it's up about a meter from where it normally would be. That's a little more than 3 feet for those of us who operate on the old scale, which basically means that a lot of areas along the riverbank are getting soaked. A lot of the River Valley Park system is a little wetter than it was before. But as far as an absolute flood like we saw, say, 9 years ago, no, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. In fact, some of the people at the Surface Water Monitoring Branch say we should be okay.
Actually, it's not much different than what we saw in terms of a rise in elevation in the North Saskatchewan, Edmonton in about June 8th. 2 meter fluctuations, not much in a stream that size.
But the rise in the river has caused some damage already. This jogging path along the riverbank has been fenced off because of erosion. It's not the only one. The riverbank is literally crumbling away in spots as the current steals the soil. But it's nothing compared to the flood that ravaged the River Valley Flats 9 years ago.
Well, that river was maybe 5 or so meters higher in 1986 when we did have flooding in Rossdale. 5 meters is quite a big rise.
The damage from the '86 flood ran well into the millions. Many homeowners found themselves facing a hefty cleanup bill for damage not covered by insurance. But now the homes here are even bigger and more expensive. How concerned are River Valley residents about the rising water tonight?
The lowest corner of Rossdale is right at the end of the fire station, the fire training station. And I don't even think any of the houses in the front got flooded at all. I think some of the older homes had flooding in the basements, but it was only because of sewer backup. So no, we're not concerned at all. We love it down here.
To me, it's not really a concern, I guess. We've got backwater valves, that kind of stuff. The older houses, you have to be concerned. Actually, the house right here has a line that goes straight to the river, and that's the house that floods first if anything happens. So that's kind of the gauge of the neighborhood.
Now you're looking live right now at the North Saskatchewan River. We're just slightly upstream from the Dudley-Menzies LRT bridge near the high level, and there isn't nearly as much debris in the water as there was even this afternoon, and especially from last night. The water has actually slowed down a fair bit. The river forecasters tell us it's slowed down a fair bit from what it actually is upstream in Rocky Mountain House. So they now expect that the river is not going to peak tonight, and that flood of the 1986 proportion certainly doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Okay, thanks very much, Jerry.
Right.
Jerry Bellikka reporting tonight from the River Valley. Well, many people are asking why weather forecasters didn't let us know about the storm sooner. The Weather Office tells us it snuck up on the city so quickly, forecasters didn't even see it coming. ITV's Linda Steele has the story.
This is unbelievable! Happy 4th of July!
Only in Alberta could you see people shoveling white stuff in July. The storm took everyone by surprise, dropping a foot of hail in some areas of South Edmonton and over 100 millimeters of rain in others.
No, just stay where you are. Just stay where you are.
The freak storm turned roads into rivers, swamping vehicles on the Sherwood Park Freeway. This businessman had to be rescued in an inflatable boat.
You got it locked up to you? Yeah.
It was the heaviest downpour Edmonton's seen in 100 years. People were trapped in phone booths. Manhole covers blew from the water pressure. Sewer water gurgled up household sinks and toilets. Over 100 basements and businesses were swamped. Bonnie Doon Mall was flooded after the roof sprung a leak.
What happened was just coming down a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just completely fell. Like, just water just came gushing out.
A lot of people are wondering why there was no warning from the Weather Office, and the answer is simple. The Weather Office didn't even know the major storm was on the way. It came up so quickly it didn't even register on the radar map.
It's a miss from our point of view. It's kind of a disappointment. It's nice to catch these when there are a whole bunch of people are involved. It's not going to be always possible, and this was one of those times.
The Weather Office says the storm was simply a freak of nature, an anomaly even forecasters don't understand. And they say there's no way to predict when and if it will ever happen again. Linda Steele, ITV News at 10.
Well, it came and went in little more than an hour, but it left enough of a mess to last for weeks. Shopkeepers at Bonnie Doon Mall worked until just before dawn getting their stores ready for customers again. And city crews spent a smelly day sweeping up sludge in Cloverdale. Our coverage continues with ITV's Bonnie Fox.
The worst mess and the worst smell is in Cloverdale. City crews are spraying, pumping and vacuuming, trying to clean up the sewage, sludge and silt that ran free here last night. When this sinkhole broke open, it left power, sewer and gas lines exposed. They've been dealt with, and now city engineers are trying to figure out how to fill this in once repairs are all done and the ground is dry. The ground is almost dry at the new Consumers Distributing store in the Bonnie Doon Mall, and this morning workers were hurrying to put merchandise back on display before opening. Much of the stock had to be put away after the ceiling spouted a leak. A big leak. It's estimated that more than 10,000 gallons of rainwater and hail poured through the ceiling in less than an hour.
People in the mall were helping us. Our employees were with brooms pushing the water out into the mall. The mall aisle had instantly turned into a river.
Other shopkeepers are still trying to protect their products from soggy ceilings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo it all, for sure. The rug is completely soaked.
And that's why business is suddenly booming for carpet cleaners.
So how long have you been cleaning up?
Oh, since about 8:30 last night.
No sleep?
2 hours.
Before one job is finished, bookings are coming in for the next.
Yeah, I can get there for you probably by about 2 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah.
Maintenance staff at the mall are clearing away what's left of a 20-centimeter dump of hail. Then they'll put the snow shovels back in storage, hoping they won't need them again for at least a few months. Bonnie Fox, ITV News at 10.
And here's the scene tonight at the sinkhole on the Ski Club Hill. As Bonnie said, city crews will have to wait for the weather to dry up before they can start repairs. Engineers are trying to determine the extent of the problem and how best to fix it. The main site for the Edmonton Folk Festival is off to the left of your screen. It wasn't affected by the storm. The hole is on a portion of the hill that is used for some supporting events and should be repaired in time for the Folk Fest. The damage from the flooding is quite extensive, and some homeowners could be left high and dry. As Ross McLaughlin discovered today, many won't be covered by insurance, but there are rumblings that the city may help out.
Now that the cleanup is underway, the real question for homeowners is, are they covered by insurance, or is the city going to pay for it?
Pretty rotten, yeah.
What is it?
From what I understand, it's raw sewage.
In Cloverdale, raw sewage gushed from this sinkhole when an 80-year-old sewer pipe broke. It rushed down the street, flooding yards and basements.
It was gushing water in through here, and in a matter of, I'd say probably an hour or so, it was up to this mark here that's on the wall. As you can see, it's here.
This basement was filled nearly to the rafters, and as you can see, it left quite a mess behind. Gilles Hardy owns 3 homes in Cloverdale. He's checking on his insurance.
I was wondering what my policy covers. He says that they don't cover houses in this area for flooding.
In fact, flood insurance is not available anywhere in our province.
You pay $140 for insurance a year, and now you're not covered. You know, I'm not happy.
The best you can hope for is that you have insurance for sewer backup.
Do you think you would be covered?
Oh, definitely. That's why you have insurance, right? I never even thought to even to check. It's only an extra $15 a year.
For sewage coverage?
Yeah, I would have put it on, you know.
But even if you have sewer backup insurance, there are restrictions.
But it has to be sewer backup. There's some specifics around that. It can't seep in through the window or can't come in through cracks.
A lot of these basements were flooded with raw sewage that came from the Broken City sewage pipe. But it's going to be up to insurance adjusters to determine if it backed up through the lines as well.
I feel that the city should be responsible because it's their fault, really.
Why is it the city's fault?
Because if they would fix those sewers, this wouldn't happen.
The city will assume no liability, but will help homeowners clean up their basements and offer advice.
Is there something that City Council can offer in the way of an assistance program? I'm sure that within the next day or so we'll have answers to most of those questions.
We're told you can still make a claim against the city. Your case will be reviewed and you might get compensation, but it will take a while. Ross McLaughlin, ITV News at 10.
If you want information about cleaning up and disinfecting your basement, you can call the city. A hotline has been set up. The number is 496-1717. Be patient. The line could be busy, but keep trying. Now, here's some things you should do if your basement was flooded. First, minimize the damage. Get the water out and start mopping up. Call your insurance agent as soon as possible to find out if you're covered so they can send out an adjuster. And save all damaged goods in plastic garbage bags for proof. And here's some health tips to help with the cleanup. The Public Health Board suggests wearing plastic gloves. A bleach solution containing 1 cup bleach to 1 gallon of water can be used to clean wood, cement, and walls. You can get a fact sheet from any public health office in the city or by calling 482-9863. A quick recap now as we wrap up our storm coverage. Our thanks to all those who called the ITV newsroom to offer home video of the storm. We used many of the tapes, but weren't able to use many others. Remember that ITV pays you cash if we use your Hot Shots tape on the air. The number to call when you see news happening is 438-8479. As Jerry Bellikka mentioned, all eyes are on the rising river levels now. Here's our live shot from the river valley. No homes or other buildings are threatened, but there may be some water in low-lying parts. The water is expected to rise another 2 meters before it crests at midnight tomorrow night. If you've got access to the internet on your home computer, you can get more information on the storm and download some of the images of the aftermath. Here's the address for the ITV homepage. Our storm coverage will continue tomorrow morning on ITV First News. And when ITV News at 10 returns, we'll bring you the rest of the day's news, including an update from CFB Cold Lake, where the search for a CF-18 fighter pilot continues after his jet dropped from the sky today. And also ahead, an Edmonton landmark celebrates a big birthday.
You're watching ITV News at 10. Coming up, Pat Kiernan has Your Money and Bill Navison with weather. Clean up with savings during Operation Clean Sweep at the Brick. Save up to 70% on clearance home furnishings. Discontinued one-of-a-kinds 4 models. It's piled in the aisles and it's all got to go. We're clearing out our warehouses with savings up to 70% on clearance home furnishings. Plus, on a huge selection of home furnishings and selected appliances and electronics, you don't pay for a year. Make no down payments and no monthly payments. It's like getting it free for a year with no interest. Don't miss Operation Clean Sweep. Now through this weekend, nobody beats the Brick.
Okay, 1 bag of chips.
The amazing Tiger Express stores at Esso. Wait till you see them.
Whoa.
With Tim Hortons coffee and donuts that are always fresh. Royal Bank cash counters.
Jeffrey, go see where Mom is.
All kinds of great snacks. Plenty of friendly service and lots more.
Megan, go see where Jeffrey is.
Don't miss your Tiger Express stores at Esso. It's the evolution of the service station.
Jeffrey, go see where your father is.
You're on your way with Esso.